Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for our webinar about 8 mobile forms every construction and field service company should have. My name is Lorraine Riglowitz and I'm an account manager here at GoFormz. I work with our construction and field service customers and have had the pleasure of learning how these organizations use mobile forms to help streamline their businesses. We're going to wait just another minute or two to get started. We're continuing to see people sign in. For now, I just want to remind you that you can send questions via the webinar at any point throughout the presentation, or you can tweet them to us at our handle at GoFormz. So we'll give everyone just another minute or two, and then we'll get started. All right, everyone, so let's begin. Every day, construction and field service businesses, like many of you, use forms to capture and record job site data. You can all also agree that many current paper forms and their associated workflows are cumbersome, inefficient, and vulnerable to human error. Throughout this presentation, we plan to draw a definitive line between how much more you can get from smart mobile forms. To do this, we'll be highlighting 8 forms that you are all probably very familiar with. We assigned each form a rating based on how they will lower costs, save you time, and improve your overall data. Before we dive into each form, here are some of the high-level benefits you get from a mobile form and why mobile forms are better than paper forms. First, don't worry about having to spend time on training your employees on new workflows. The forms you will use are your own, just digitized. Also, it's time to modernize your business by capturing new types of data that are tough to collect via paper forms. Lastly, all of the data you collect will be available for reporting through our reporting tool. These are just a few of the benefits that you can get from a mobile form. A lot of the customers I work with are in the main office of a construction firm. They've either been told they need to take business into the 21st century or have a personal desire to streamline their operations. I believe GoFormz is a product that can help you achieve this. Let's go into our first form. Great. So here we have the request for time off form. You may already have a specific version of this form that you are happy with, but the points we make can still relate to your form if you decide to mobilize it. I just want to remind everyone that the forms you see today were created by our team so that we could give them to users that didn't yet have their own or wanted a good starting point to test this out with. With GoFormz, we take your forms and make them interactive, but if you want to start with one of these 8 mobile forms, let me know after the webinar and we can send them over. So, back to the form. Imagine having the ability to pull out your phone and within a few minutes, fill out a request vacation to Disney World, New York City, or even San Diego to come visit us. For the person requesting time off, all they do is fill in some simple information such as the dates and maybe a sentence or two about why they are requesting days off. After hitting complete on the form, it is automatically emailed to the supervisor or office. It's that easy. Don't worry about chasing someone down or losing the request in a pile of papers. The supervisor, once they get it, can quickly respond with an approval or deny the request if they have to. Obviously, we hope it doesn't get denied. Regardless, you have now taken a process that could have taken a day or two and transformed it into something that can be done in just minutes. And the form doesn't stop there. It's automatically will calculate total days requested and save the form in our cloud database. Vacation just got a whole lot better. So moving on to the work order form. These should be very important to all of you because most businesses use these to record important information related to all aspects of a job or project. Information such as customer and job details. A mobile version of this form is much more useful. Notice that there's a high score for data improvement and time savings. They're high because the form will automatically calculate totals for supplies, labor, materials, you name it. You can also use data sources to automatically populate material costs and descriptions. A simple mathematical mistake can lead to bigger losses down the road, so just let the form handle the heavy lifting for you. Here's the job proposal form. This form is important because it usually helps you and your customer understand the scope of the project. Like the work order, you don't want to make any mistakes when projecting costs for your clients. This form is equipped with calculated fields that ensure accurate numbers every time. The mobile form also includes 2 signature boxes so that both you and your client are on the same page, literally, before work begins. And if there were ever a reason to reference this document, you can easily search for it and retrieve it thanks to our database storage. So let's not forget that there's workflow that will automatically email a copy to your client so that they have a copy for their records as well. There's no need to make a Xerox or fax it. Hopefully you can see why all the scores on this document are ranked high. Moving on, we now have the mobile inspection form. Typically, job inspection forms are used to record findings from a visual inspection. Current processes use paper forms, which means you either have to explain everything you see through text, or you use a separate camera to take photos and later somehow attach them to the form. But we live in an age of iPhones and Androids. Why would we use the extra equipment? Just use the camera on your mobile device. The images included directly on the inspection form keep all of the data centralized. Plus, you can save on costs from not purchasing a separate camera, and you save time by not having to file everything. That's what the cloud's for. So you've completed the job and your customer is happy. That's great. And now it's time to bill them. That's where this form comes into play. The invoice form is used for billing purposes to collect payment from clients when work has been completed. Current paper invoices have to be mailed or handed over in person, which can take days. Instead, why not just have GoFormz automatically email them a copy of the invoice once it's time for you to collect payment? This form, again, is equipped with fields that calculate rates and pull from a data source to make sure customer contact information is accurate. It really can't get easier than that. Our 6th form is the beloved employee timesheet. This form is very important because it determines the hours employees will get paid for, and you don't want any mistakes to happen there. Current paper processes take a long time and too much manpower that can be used elsewhere. I know there are people on the line that still wait for timesheets to be mailed in from the field. Our mobile timesheet makes life easier for both parties, and it's not expensive. Employees simply have to track the time they started working, went on break, and left work. The mobile timesheet then automatically calculates their daily hours and generates a grand total at the end of the week. There are even fields that are locked until they get back to the main office to add the hourly rates for each timesheet. Once an employee signs and completes their portion, the supervisor gets the filled out timesheet and then he approves it. The built-in workflow automatically emails the approved timesheet to payroll. Quick, easy, simple. You really can't ask for more. The next form here is one that we hope you never have to fill out, the employee injury illness form. Accidents happen and people get sick, that's just how life works, but it's always better if you can be prepared for these moments. You can make the blank version of this form available to all of your employees so anyone has access to it if they need to. You can never predict who will be around when something goes wrong, and that's why it's good for everyone to have access to a form like this. Thankfully, you can just pull it up on your mobile device without having to scramble to find a binder or a clipboard that has this document. Once filled out and completed, the form is directed to the proper personnel. Again, this form is one that must be completed quickly, but still capture all of the important information. You can even include fields, image fields to add another level of detail. Be prepared to handle these unfortunate events. It'll make situations like this easier to handle. And if you've got the image field, that'll be useful too. So let's move on to the last form, the employee evaluation form. This is another form that is important to both employees and employers. As an employee, you want to know where you are progressing at work and find areas to improve on in order to one day be promoted. Employers, on the other hand, value these because they can track who is ready for the next step and ready to bring more to their team. Performance measures vary from company to company, which is why we have designed this form to allow you to customize your criteria. The form has a 5-point scale that will generate an overall score for each employee that is easily comparable. The notes section allow you to elaborate where needed, and the evaluator completes the form with his or her signature. Again, the form will be securely stored in our database and will be easily accessible whenever needed. Okay, so that's it for all of our forms. Thank you for joining the overview of our 8 mobile forms. Remember, our customers love the ability to automate processes with automatic calculations, workflows, and add depth to their documents with photos and sketch fields. After the presentation, you will receive an email with a copy of this webinar. And if you're interested in a demo or receiving these templates, please let us know. And now we're going to answer a few questions that were sent over, which will just take me a second here. So the first question is, does voice-to-text work with the mobile forms? Yes, absolutely. As long as the device has the ability to handle voice-to-text, it can be used with GoFormz as well. That's a really popular feature that's used in the field a whole bunch. Do time cards have the 24-hour data format? Yep, absolutely. That's something that you can set up. You can ask the support team to help you with. We can do it in a minute. If you wanted to do it in 15 or 30-minute increments, that's also possible. Can I use my own formatted form? Absolutely. Yes, that is the beauty of GoFormz. That's what we hope all of you will do. Use the forms that you currently have right now, digitize them with GoFormz, and you're off to the races. Certainly, if you need any help, you can let us know. We'll be happy to assist you. Any other questions that come through? Nope. Okay. Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining us. Again, you'll receive an email after this is all done, and if you have any questions or want to connect, please feel free to let us know. Thanks.